Last year in December, I released this video on my channel teaching you guys how to play Counter-Strike 2 on Apple Silicon Macs. And since then, Whiskey, the project I showed you guys, is no longer maintained and Steam no longer works. I cannot tell you guys how many comments I got from people asking me why Steam isn't working. The only way now you guys can get Counter-Strike 2 and other Windows games running on Mac is through this method that I'll be showing you guys today. So firstly, go over to your browser of choice, and we're going to go over to codeweavers.com/crossover. I will have the link in the description down below. It'll be right here in the middle. A lot of Windows games that you want to play can be ran through crossover, and the compatibility is pretty good on this if we want to go and take a look for yourself. They have a whole list here in a database. So if you have a specific game you want to see if it'll work, then there is the Apple Gaming Wiki. This will have some other games. So if I type in Red Dead Redemption 2 at 20, not 21, but 2 as an example, as you guys can see, I go over to Red Dead and it showcases that it runs well. You know, it gives you more specific details, so make sure you are checking your games before you try to launch them. I should also add, before I go any further into the video, because I may forget, any game with some kernel level anti-cheat will not launch. I'm not sure if Marvel Rivals has an anti-cheat, because I will be showing you guys how to play that game. Let's get back on topic here. So I know this price tag may scare you. Wow, you actually have to get a job to buy this. Wow. This trial will give you 14 days to try out the software. After that, it bricks. You can't use it unless you pay money to access it. But you might think, Johnny, I need to give these guys my name and my email. I could literally say that I am Justin Timberlake. Say that I'm Denagun. Timbertake, I don't care. I sang with ti@gmail.com. Poem, whatever. You can check these, but you can put whatever your name is. Download a trial, give it a second, and
let's go.
Download crossover. I already have it installed and set up. So all you're then gonna do, just extract the file and then go over to crossover. So now once we're here in crossover, what we're going to do is head over to install and scroll down until you find Steam. Click on it. You can select a specific bottle you want to download it to, so you do that. But then once you have it installed to whatever bottle, all you really got to do is launch Steam. Now here are the graphics and sync settings that I use. I just use D3D Metal and M-Sync. And for anybody who's going to be asking me a bunch of questions about the specs of my MacBook, this is it right here. M4 Pro, 24 gigabytes of RAM, 14-inch MacBook Pro. So let's launch Steam. Now also, I do want to add, if you really want to check your performance on each game, before you launch games through Steam or whatever your app is, right click, run with options, click on the plus, and put in this right here, Metal Performance HUD. So whenever I launch Counter-Strike, it'll give me the HUD and it'll give me all the details about my FPS, how much my RAM's being used, etc. So let's just launch Steam here. And one thing I will add is, an issue I had with Whiskey was that when I would launch Steam through Whiskey and I had Stage Manager toggled, anytime I would click on something on the Steam window, it would automatically like tab me out like I did this, you know, like I clicked away to reveal my home screen. So that's a thing that doesn't happen on crossover, and it's way smoother, you know. So now go over to the library. All you really gotta do from here is just download Counter-Strike 2. Really, it's as simple as that. There isn't really any extra further steps that you need to take. Besides that, you're pretty much good to go from here. Now, any additional audio problems, I know that there was like a crunchy audio thing with Whiskey. I think the same method can go if you go to the audio MIDI setup and change your hertz to 96,000. It should fix that. And oh, another one. A lot of people were asking me about how they were having issues with the mouse and if I knew how to fix it. There's an application that you need to go and download. It's called SteelSeries ExactMouse. This disables mouse acceleration and it will help if your mouse feels really clunky and weird. Ever since I downloaded this program right here, you don't need to have a SteelSeries mouse, by the way. Make sure you just have start on logon so you don't have to always launch it every single time. Once we have everything done, you can go over to properties. I don't know if you need to have No Joy enabled on launch commands, but I'm still going to do it regardless, just because it worked well on Whiskey. It may work well on crossover too. So now we just launch, and the first time you do launch the game, it will say that you have AMD drivers that are out of date. Just click out of it and you'll get into the game perfectly fine. So now we are here in the game. Here are my settings right here if you want to copy them. Boost player contrast enabled. VSync disabled. Maximum FPS, I have it kind of high. I only have it like 141. If you go anything above 120, your fans on your MacBook will start to kick. I don't like my fans to be blaring. Keep this kind of low. You can put it like really high, but you don't really need to. The Mac will only push to around maybe like 150 at the most. I'm gonna leave it like 130 for now. And here are all the settings I have: multi-sampling, anti-aliasing, none, global shadow quality on low, dynamic shadows on all, model texture detail low, texture filtering mode bilinear, shader detail low, particle detail low, ambient occlusion disabled, HDR on performance, fidelity FX super resolution, I have this one off. So now we'll hop into a deathmatch on Dust 2 and kind of show you guys what the game kind of looks like. So I would definitely say keep your frame rate super low, especially if you're on a ProMotion MacBook. You don't need to have your frame rate incredibly high. By capping your frame rate, you avoid a lot more of stuttering that you may run into if you had your frame rate uncapped. Yeah, you only need to have like a couple frames higher than what your display can actually output. Dude, serious. If worst comes to worst, I'm gonna start investing in counterstrike skins. People will be like selling their skins for crazy money. Put a down payment on a counterstrike skin. Who's sniping at me? My mouse. What? No, not my mouse. My phone was in front of my mouse. I don't have a lot of mouse room on my desk. I'm gonna answer some of the other questions that I remembered people asking me off the top of my head. Now, if I didn't answer your question, comment it again. I haven't been getting everybody's notifications. They don't always show, and they're a little delayed when it comes to the YouTube Studio app on my phone. Because like I was getting some people's like comments, like their notifications. Some I was not getting them. So if I didn't answer your question, comment it down below, and I'll answer the question as best as I can. Yeah, but one of the other questions I got was, can you play Faceit with this setup, like playing Counter-Strike Faceit matches on a Mac? I would say yes, because you're just connecting to another server. You just have to go to the server browser. So I want to say yes. Maybe later I'll try Faceit matches and I'll see if they do work. They should. With every game, you're going to notice a little hitch in performance because running Windows games through translators will result in lower performance by default. So we never get to fully see the true power of some of these MacBooks. It's crazy how we came like full circle with it though. Like years ago, you couldn't possibly imagine playing like AAA games on a MacBook. And now they're only getting more and more powerful and stuff. Like there is potential. Some people don't see it, but there really is potential. Rust recently came to Mac OS. They got a version of it that runs on Apple Silicon. I've been thinking about buying Rust and trying it out. It was like $20. I didn't end up getting it. I'll wait for it to go on sale again and then I'll buy Rust. I'll play it to show you guys how it runs. The recommended chip to have for Rust is an M1 Pro, and I'm on the M4 Pro. So if we're thinking logically here, higher number tends to mean better. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I have a feeling that this MacBook will handle Rust perfectly fine though. Maybe I could start doing Rust content, playing Rust on a Mac. I don't know if it would have even ran or launched with the translator like crossover. But now there isn't really much of a point to playing Rust through crossover when you can literally just play it natively on a Mac, you know? Are we serious now? Dang it. Yeah, I don't understand people that use the SSG. Like, I tried using that sniper, and it's just so annoying. It's not even like a one-shot sniper. So yeah, if you have an itch for some gaming and you really want to play something and you happen to have an Apple Silicon Mac, then give it a shot. Now, I will say, if you aren't running a MacBook with an Apple Silicon like a Pro or a Max chip, expect way worse performance. And in general, you want to have a Mac that's more than 8 gigabytes of RAM. You know, most people that have Macs, some of the older ones, they have only 8 gigabytes of RAM and an Apple M1. Not that it's a bad chip by any means. The Apple M1 is still a solid processor. It's just a lot of the newer stuff just outclasses it by a mile. So like, if you really want a machine or a MacBook that can run games and also do really good video editing and VFX rendering and stuff like that, then I would definitely say get like a Pro Mac. You can get an M1 Pro and get away with some pretty good performance. You don't need the newest Mac. But if you are on something like an M1, I would definitely say upgrade to an M4. Or if you really don't want M4 Pro right now, wait for M5, which I don't know why you would, because that's going to take a long time before Apple even starts working on M5 or even announcing it or anything like that. Yeah, like a MacBook Pro, definitely. The MacBook Airs, it's not that you can't, it's just that with some of them not really having a lot of RAM, they're going to have a lot worse performance. I was unmuting my mic, and this kid still couldn't kill me. Also, do keep in mind I'm going to be getting slightly worse performance since I am recording. I record my Mac videos in 1440p just to make them look better, you know? So, do keep in mind that I'm missing like a percentage of my frames that I should be getting right now. It's all good. After this one, I'll show you guys Marvel Rivals running on Mac. It's a little bit more worse than Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike definitely runs way better than Marvel Rivals on Mac. So yeah, there was supposed to be a version of CS2 for the Mac, but Valve ended up canceling it for some reason. I don't know why you would have. So now I'm gonna show you guys Marvel Rivals. So yeah, every single time you launch Rivals, you'll get a prompt that you have like unsupported or out of date AMD drivers or something like that. Like this here. Just click no and you'll load into the game and you'll be fine. The only issue with this though, I will say, is the fact that when you're in the loading screen, some of the stuff won't like show. Like you'll be able to click on like the battle pass, but like the home screen, like graphics or whatever, some of it will not show. You guys won't see in a second what I'm talking about. I figured I would also show you guys Rivals because Counter-Strike and Rivals are some of the biggest games currently, so I figured I might as well show you guys both in case you guys are interested in playing both games. So go to the settings. These are the settings I use. So I'm using AMD FSR 3. Oh, okay. Using FSR 3, we have performance mode. So you can use balance, which will slightly take away performance. Oh, because I'm recording, I'm gonna use performance. Super resolution sharpening, I leave it at 80 so I can actually see. Frame generation, I have it off, and then I have everything set to low. Model detail, I have this on performance because it just helps. So now let's go over to a quick match. I would probably go lower with resolution scaling if you really need performance, but I would strongly recommend against it because you will have such a hard time seeing stuff, and at that point it's not even worth it. You might as well just play it on a PlayStation or an Xbox at that point. I haven't played Psylocke in a minute, but we all have DPS, so play some support.
We battle red shit.
I'm sure you will, man. These two both want Spider-Man. So right now we're bouncing from like 90 to 100 frames.
Girl, you're the baddest girl. Girl, you're the
30
baddest
seconds before you
girl.
attack. Get ready.
I don't know how the song goes.
Alright, bro, you're doing way too much right now.
Dark.
I can do whatever I want.
Nobody said you couldn't, but you're just doing too much.
Girl, you're the baddest girl.
When's the
Girl,
last
you're
time
the
you sold out
baddest
Stark
girl.
Arena reps?
I'm not gonna even bother with this kid. But yeah, my frames aren't as bad right now. Like when we're actually in combat, we're getting about 60, 70 frames. I would say definitely for this game, use FSR 3 with performance. You know, if you want the most amount of frames, you want to mix up quality and performance, you can use balance. But if you want the most amount of frames, especially for Rivals, I would strongly recommend just using FSR 3 in performance. I can show you guys in a second what the balance preset looks like for FSR 3. When I die, I'll swap it. And then later I'll turn on frame gen to kind of demonstrate how it runs with it. Whole team's on me. This is fantastic. I dip. Oh, okay. The frames might be a little bit. Yeah, we're about 60 to 70 frames right now compared to having like 70, 80, sometimes 90 frames. I think this is where I die. This is the end. Imagine I get like copyright claim because I sing a song too well. Punisher! Punisher! There, I had to punish him. Pause. Oh. I'm getting booty raped. Yeah. Well, let's switch it with frame gen. Frame gen, we are now looking at 100, not 100. What am I saying? Like 80 to 90 frames on balance. With the main downgrade being that it's a little bit more delayed.
Well, you can't expect
Oh, join the session in progress. We have supports. Okay.
A very different version of me.
I joined into a losing game. What is this game? I don't know why people just do that. They just leave their mics on and don't even say anything. No, you're not, bro. Stop lying. He's a good Venom, he says. Okay. Yeah, in some of these battles, you'll see stuff like this. This is where you'll get a lot of latency. Or not latency, but you'll see more drops in FPS. In the other mode, like the objective ones, like capturing the objective, you won't get as bad of frames. Okay, got my ult. So we're getting something going here. Hold on. Strange is low. There we go. Squirrel stampede. Oh shoot! And my game just lagged. I'm dead right here. This is the end. Yeah, you get those weird like micro. Not that wasn't a micro stutter. I stuttered for like a second or two.
Body and soul.
My game just crashed. This is like the first time the game's really like crashed for me. It might happen from time to time, I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's like your chances of it's very low. So hope we should be able to reconnect, finish the match, because I was doing pretty good, I would say. Better than what I was expecting. I was expecting to do a lot worse. Please let me reconnect. Reconnect. Alright, y'all, we're back. It takes a little bit of time to get in, but honestly, this is a lot better than I was expecting for Mac, especially. Bro, you said you were a good Venom. What happened? But yeah, that's Counter-Strike and Marvel Rivals for you guys. These games should give you an example of how good they can run. Honestly, I'm okay with what I got. The game ran good to some degree. Yeah, we did crash, but at least we were able to reconnect. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. And if you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel for more gaming content. My name is Johnny, aka sTaTTicxx, and I will see you all in the next video. I'm out. Peace.